Hello and welcome on this really hot day here in England, unusual as it is, and it's a perfect day to introduce you to making Tudor salads as promised last time. And remember, last time we were making all sorts of coloured and flavoured vinegars, which we are going to use today. And have a look what lovely colour of vinegar, different versions we have created. Here are some more in the front. But before I start, let me just very briefly give you an insight in how salads developed here in England, because it's quite different to Italy. If you want to know the whole story, I would advise you to go on the blog where I have actually written it as an article. But very, very briefly, Tudor England. So late medieval age, about 1460 or so, a salad would look a little bit like this mixed together. So we would have lots of herbs like rosemary, parsley, sage, mint, watercress, which looks a bit sad now, a good sign that it's been really hot, fennel, and then we have also got garlic, spring onions, leek, normal onion, and very unusual and probably not really that common anymore in salads is rue, which was a very common herb to be used in salads in the late medieval age. But because there are some issues with its chemical components that can upset people's digestive system, and it's better not to use them. And then we have borage leaf, again rather an unusual component. It's very, very hairy, and some people react to these hairs, so best not to use those anymore. But I'm just letting you know that this recipe from 1460 from the book of Nurture by John Russell does include them, but you can use the lovely flowers of borage. Okay, so a late medieval salad, raw leaves, never mind, would also use some kind of vinegar. Here there's verjuice, which is the mildest one, made from crab apples here in England, and olive oil. Now, the use of olive oil would very quickly indicate that this was a salad for the wealthy. Let's remember, olive oil had to be imported, therefore was rather expensive. Definitely not something the commoners would have used. They quite possibly would have used walnut oil instead. Anyway, so here you have all the ingredients for a late medieval salad, and it also, as a spice, has salt. Now, how did that change in Tudor times? Let's have a look. Have a look. I have created here for you a selection of different salads. Every single recipe is from between 1500 and 1616 to show you that all of a sudden the green herby salad started to look more and more colourful and impressive. Now, we do have in the beginning of the Tudor age a lot of what they called boiled salads. For instance, this one here. It's boiled asparagus and then marinated in butter and pepper and a bit of vinegar, and that was actually called a boiled salad. Then we have this one here. It's also called a boiled salad. And basically what this is boiled spinach, again marinated then with butter and vinegar and a touch of salt. This one is sitting on sippets, which are basically toasted pieces of white bread. Then what else did they classify as a salad? Well, just plain olives and capers were classified as a salad, as we indeed get to know when we look at Thomas Dawson's cookery book from 1596. He also has a recipe for lemon salad, and basically all that is sliced lemons, and he calls it a salad. Another one that Thomas Dawson has in his cookery book is this one. He calls it a carrot salad. So it looks actually already quite modern. We have the shredded carrot and the scampi around it, but look at the shape. The shape, if you might be able to see it, it looks like a fleur-de-lis. And again, the carrot is raw, unusually raw, and then dressed with vinegar, oil, and a little bit of salt. So we are beginning to see what we more associate with a salad today. And towards the end of the Tudor period, so we are entering Shakespeare's time, we see something quite different emerge. It's called the compound salad, and here's one example of a compound salad. Now, what is a compound salad? This one is by Gervais Markham, and it's from this cookery book here, The English Housewife, which first was published in 1615, I think. Yes, I got it right. And I'm going to show you how to make this salad in a minute. Because it's just such fun to create. You can let your own design and fantasy run wild with this one. But we also see more and more pickled vegetables being presented to us as salad. For instance, here is pickled samphire. Now, what is samphire? It starts to appear in cookery books a lot towards the end of the 16th century, and in particular throughout the 17th century. It's a kind of vegetable that grows wild in the very east of England. This is the colour it comes in. It has a quite spongy feel to it, and it's naturally very salty because it grows right next to the seaside. And it's ideal for salad material and indeed for pickling. It might be a little bit hard for you to get hold of, but if you do, definitely worth having a go at this and turning it into a pickled salad. We also see lots of salads that state that you need cucumber. Now, what that means is the pickled cucumber, the gherkin as we know it. It is never really the raw cucumber as we know it. And into the 17th century, so we're talking Shakespeare time, so on, we also see more and more pickled vegetables or stuff like mushrooms being used in salads. And one other vegetable is this one. This is a chunk out of a much longer root. This is what salsify looks like. Very similar in many ways to skirret, which again is a root vegetable, dark on the outside, white in the center, and it was boiled as the asparagus and the spinach, and then often dressed in vinegar, butter or oil and salt. And that's basically is it. There are just two fun facts. Fun fact one is lettuce, as we know it, only started to be used as salad material raw towards the end of the Tudor period. Before then, lettuce was always boiled. And fun fact two is one difference between medieval and Tudor salads is medieval times uses a dressing made from oil, vinegar and salt. By the Tudor times, that salt often gets replaced with sugar. And just thought about another fun fact. Indeed, in Vienna, still today, if you eat lettuce, you will find that often they still use sugar instead of salt. But anyway, let's get into the cooking process. So just give me a minute while I clear the table so we can start making one of these fantastic compound salads by Gervais Markham. See you shortly. Right, let's have a look what we are going to put into this salad of ours. As you can see, an awful lot of ingredients, but all of these should be easy for you to obtain. Let's start with the sweet dried fruit. We need raisins, or indeed these are the currants, but as I said, raisins, and then chopped up dried figs, capers, blanched almonds, a few sage leaves. Now the recipe asks for red sage, but if you can't get red, green will do. We need obviously a little bit of sugar. It is a Tudor salad. Olive oil, any type of vinegar. It could be a coloured one or just plain white wine vinegar is fine. We need spinach leaves, raw, not boiled. We need pickled cucumbers or gherkins, olives halved, lemon slices without the rind, so peeled before, orange slices thin again without the rind. We need some crisp green salad, and we need, well, I have used this red leaf salad, but in the recipe it says red cauliflower leaves, which is a bit unusual because these days we don't tend to use cauliflower leaves, but this radicchio salad will do just nicely. It's also quite stiff and it has this gorgeous dark red colour, and that's what we basically need. So how do we get started? You need a mixing bowl, and in the mixing bowl goes your dried fruit. I'm just using really tiny amounts because I've made the big salad, so I'm just showing you how to go about it. All the dried fruit into this. almonds in, capers in, sage leaves in, and spinach leaves in. And now we get mucky. Vinegar to your taste, olive oil to your taste, and a bit of the sugar, and that you now mix. I have washed my hands because really it's best to use your hands, and I'm sure the Tudors use their hands too. No better tool than your hands. Okay, so that being mixed through thoroughly, you get your display plate. I've chosen this lovely porcelain one here. And in the center, according to the instructions by Gervais Markham, you put a nice heap of this mixture, which we can do easily. So nice little heap in the middle, and then it gets funny. Okay, he says cover that pile of yours with orange slices and lemon, but I've already covered it with oranges, so I leave it at that. And then he says next you put on a layer of the red salad. So you cover it like that. No marinade goes on this one. So very English. And then he says cover that with a layer of green lettuce, like that. I'm sure you can spend more time doing a nice proper job than me. And then he says, okay, now it's time. See, we've done that so far, you can compare. And now he says, use your cucumber or your gherkins and decorate it in a nice pattern. So I'll do that. But if you are the artist, I'm sure you can find better ways and more original ways to do so. So we've done that, and then he says use your olives and the lemon slices to decorate the outside, which, as you can see, I've done before. Because I took a little bit more time, I did it in a neater pattern than this one. But I'm just showing you the different steps. And that's why I am rushing a little bit, but I'm sure you are going to take plenty of time. So we've done that now. And last but not least, use fresh flowers. It is summer. The Tudors would have used all sorts of flowers, but in my garden at the moment I have roses and I have gillyflower, pink, it's called pink or carnation as well, and those are fine to eat, and they do appear more and more throughout the late Tudor age and into the 17th century as salad decoration. Indeed, they made vinegar from it, and it does produce a lovely pink vinegar, as you can see here. So in the winter they would have then used the pickled chili flowers to decorate their salads. But you could also use rose petals and borage flowers, the blue lovely neo blue ones. Anything you can eat, and obviously not any flowers bought, because you never know whether they have been treated with pesticides. But that is it basically. This is a type of salad that was all the rage in Elizabethan England, and it got even grander and more beautiful as time went on. The 17th century, especially around Shakespeare's time, this is when this sort of salad really took off, and anybody who had money, anybody who wanted to be seen to be a trendsetter would have served this type of salad, because it showed that you also were educated, because throughout the Tudor age we do see this change in attitude from salads were unhealthy to, oh yes, salads actually are good to us and they are tasty. So here we are. I'm looking forward to possibly seeing lots of pictures of your own creations, and enjoy the hot weather. May it last if you are in England, and I'm sure you will love serving one of these salads up at your next barbecue or dinner party. See you then. Bye. And remember, no blog in August, but I'll see you in September. So bye.